Hello everyone, this is MV with a little bit of night baseball UK time. It's 1:03 and I'm still up. I had a little snooze this evening. Had something to eat and knocked myself out. I've got to watch those sugar levels. And woke up, had a good chat with some friends. And then I was thinking, you know what, I've got work tomorrow. And I wasn't in the mood. And my friend kind of cheered me up. My lifelong friend and I were talking about life. You know, when got to a certain age, and the bodies are breaking down a little bit. But that was refreshing to talk to an old friend I've known since I was 17 years old. And then I spoke to another guy, a friend of mine from school, from the age of 11. We were talking, so it really refreshed me and revitalised me and recognised, we've had a good life and I'm enjoying my hobbies, but there's a lot to live for still going forward, And, whatever happens to you sometimes, hopefully, although it can be bad and tragic and whatever, we all go through ups and downs in life, until we get to the end, of course. So with that bit of philosophy out of the way, and that mindset out of the way, I kind of thought, you know what, let me enjoy my hobby regardless of the fact I have a busy day tomorrow. I work from home anyway, so I can do it in my own time. I thought, let's have a bit of baseball. I go online, I've seen some great stuff from Legend Sports Universe and his playoffs. I'm jealous. Wish I'd thought of that. I've seen a bit of Beatles. I did choose the 1907 Cubs, and I was right. So I was quite pleased with that, to be honest. We've got the draft coming up for Howie Shanks 3. I think that's this weekend, actually, so I'm making myself as much as I can available. And just generally having a positive outlook. It was a bit of one of those days today. I started off the day thinking, why did I drink that rum Malibu last night, And slowly but surely hauled myself up onto my feet and ready to go. And I just watched the stream from Bernard Strum, and that was amazing to watch. Always gives me that 1950s feel. Hello, Ken. Hello, Bernard. Just talking about you there, Bernard. Saying I loved it. It was very refreshing and uplifting. Like a religious sermon. Just watching you do your thing, with your own style. Every one of us have got our own style. And I really appreciated it because it cheered me up a lot as my morning had been so bad. So I will go into tomorrow, God willing, in a good mood tomorrow. But let me get some baseball out the way. I've got a little surprise. So this is a continuation of my 1982. I'm stuck on a day in particular, which is April the 24th. As you know, with my league, I'm a bit of a heretic, I'm being called. It's been amusing. I do DH, which means the American League and the National League have DH in this one, interleague play, and a ghost runner on second, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know what the fuss is about. Anyway, going to my scheduled league games, you can see the table in front of me. I've played around with the graphics on this just a little bit. So I've been doing some games already. You probably will see... actually I did it. It was the 23rd. So today's the 24th, so there's some recent results. So a quick peruse of the league table is in order, so it is up to date. And in the American League East, the Yankees surprisingly are still in the lead. In the National League East, the St. Louis Cardinals, who won that year, are in the lead. That's not a surprise. But the Yankees are a surprise. They didn't have the best year in 1982. A real transition from the championship clubs of the late 70s and 1981 to where they are now, but they're doing okay. The Houston Astros have to a good start in the West, with the Giants and the Reds pulling up the rear. And in the West, the White Sox are doing pretty well. And the Oakland A's are hapless at the bottom. That's the kind of the rundown. In terms of... and Clue is there. Hello, Clue. How are you doing, sir? Have you come towards the end of your holiday, your little sojourn away? I hope you've enjoyed yourself with the family and all is well. Just a quick one. I don't know if I can do it in 55 minutes, but I'll give it a shot. Bernard had a trivia question, and I think it was, what's the shortest Major League Baseball game in history? I think it was. And I think it was the Phillies and the Giants, is that right? 1919. 53 minutes. Am I right, Bernard? I hope I'm right. And there was another trivia question about the interlocking logo on Babe Ruth's cap. So I love the trivia that was, shared there by Bernard in this chat today. It's good to be home, so you're home and safe. That's good to hear, Clue. So a little quick baseball. I don't normally broadcast at this time of night in the UK, but I'll get one in. So, Here we are, a little surprise, like I said, playing around with the graphics, and here's today's schedule. So I'm going to quick look around and see who is pitching. I knew I did one. I did Underwood versus, I think it was Bobby Ojeda, and Detroit came out on top. But I've listed some games I want to see. So there are some games that have not been played, and that's Cleveland and New York. Montreal, Cincinnati, so that's Clue's team. Dwayne's team is Atlanta, if I remember correctly. So there's a couple of games I'm going to play. I'm going to do one. It says Ruthven versus Royce, Candelario against a very surprising Andy Rincon, or I'm going to do Cleveland at New York, and I'm probably going to do Cleveland at New York. So here we go. I'm going to do this one. This is at Yankee Stadium. I've chosen Cleveland because they're off to a really good start. Quick look at the lineups there, and I'll call the game. You can see the GM is controlling things at the moment. I'm not sure why Oscar Gamble's not in the lineup. Oscar with his nice afro. See, Donny Baseball's a young man there. He's only 21, so he's not in the lineup. I still haven't got a picture for Ken Griffey Sr. So here we go. Let's play ball. Welcome everyone to Yankee Stadium. It's the Cleveland Indians who are 13-7, going up against the Yankees, a surprising 15-5. Larry Sorensen takes the mound for Cleveland, and on the mound for New York Yankees is Mike Morgan. It's 61 degrees here at Yankee Stadium, and the wind speed is 7 miles per hour in from left center field. And what I've done, as you can quite clearly see, is use the uniforms on the field. I'm not sure how that's going to go down, but let's have a look. So let's take a look at the Yankees out in the field. Behind the plate, one of their two catchers, Butch Weiniger's the other one, is Rick Cerrone. At first, the Cincinnati Red, Dave Collins. At second, a man who should be in the Hall of Fame, Willie Randolph. At short, the power-hitting Roy Smalley. At third, the veteran Greg Puff Nettles. In left field, Mr. May, not Mr. November, as I once called him all September, it's Mr. May, christened by Steinbrenner. Dave Winfield having an excellent season so far. In center field, the often forgotten, one of the first baseball players I ever became aware of in my life, Jerry Mumphrey. And in right field, a man who was famous in his own right, Ken Griffey, later to become Ken Griffey Sr., which he was by then anyway. So that's the Yankees. Now let's have a look at the lineup for Cleveland. The surprising Cleveland Indians. Leading off for them will be, I want to say Floyd Bannister, but it's not. It's Alan Bannister, 30-year-old veteran. In center field, batting second, Rick Manning. Batting third, the veteran Toby Harrah. Batting cleanup is Andy Thornton. I'm sure it's Andre Thornton, but anyway. At batting fifth, the human rain delay, Mike Hargrove. Batting sixth, I'm sure a man who played for the Yankees, Ron Hassey. Batting seven, a man I like a lot, Vaughn, the Purple Haze. Called Purple by Chris Berman. Batting left field, Miguel Delon. Batting ninth, the shortstop, Jerry Dubzinski. Dubzinski, 26 years old. And on the mound, veteran, is 26-year-old, the talented Larry Sorensen. So here we go. On the mound for New York today is Mike Morgan. I'm sure Mike Morgan later on became a Chicago Cub. Correct me if I am wrong. Hello, Dwayne Martz. We have Atlanta. I was going to play today, but I've gone with the Yankees. So on the mound today is Mike Morgan. In 1982, Morgan went 7-11 with a 4.37 ERA and a 1.57 WHIP. But here we go, looking at those new uniforms, Cleveland's away uniform and Yankees home. Let's play ball. So I'm intrigued now to see Mike Morgan. I had a choice of seeing Rick Mailer on the mound for Atlanta. Depends how quickly this is. I may do the Atlanta game. So Morgan on the mound, Bannister with a 9-game hitting streak. Morgan is 2-0 on the season. It's a good start for Mike Morgan. Bannister steps in against Morgan. 2-2 pitch and a line drive to start off the ball game. And Bannister will go to first. Don't know much about Alan Bannister. I remember a Floyd Bannister. So the Cleveland Indians with a man on. Hello, Dwayne. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Digging in now is the center fielder, Rick Manning, as Morgan throws over to first. Bannister has a 74% chance of a steal. Rick Manning batting .350 on the season. Early days yet. And Manning squared to bunt, and that's not going to happen. Morgan looks in. That one hit to Morgan. Morgan over to second. And they'll get the runner at second, but Manning will get down to first. One away. Let's take a look at Rick Manning. 27 years old, Rick Manning. Not a name I'm familiar with. But here is what I am. Here is Toby Harrah. I'm sure he was a Texas Ranger at some point. Yeah, Rick Mailer. I love Rick Mailer. Grew up watching Rick Mailer. Loved him. Just did not look like a pitcher, but he did pitch well. Here's Toby Harrah batting .342. Morgan looks in. Cerrone puts the target down. And that one gets past Cerrone. And Manning doesn't take advantage. He will stay at first. Harrah gets back in the box. Mike Morgan was a good pitcher, but I remember, I'm sure he played for the Cubs. Someone please let me know. Runner on first. Morgan gets a sign. That one is hit deep to left field, but Winfield tracked back and got it. 2 away. Manning will stay at first. His Cleveland Indians have been very surprising. Here's Andy Thornton now stepping in. Andy Thornton batting in the cleanup position. The Yankee outfield is a pretty decent one. Mumphrey's a 6 in center field. Griffey's a 7 with an 8 arm in right field. And in left field, Dave Winfield has a 10 range. On the infield, not so much good. Nettles. Smalley's pretty weak, but has a big bat. Randolph is decent. Not his best defensive year. And Collins, well, one of many weak first basemen the Yankees had that season. Cerrone behind the plate is a 7. Thornton is ready. Man on first. Here's the 1-1. Hit to Nettles to Randolph. And they get all they need. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 1/2 inning, Cleveland nothing. New York Yankees coming to bat. Leading off for the New York Yankees, Jerry Mumphrey. And the 1-2 pitch is taken up the middle for a base hit. So Jerry Mumphrey, a decent hit, is on first. Nice crowd in here at Yankee Stadium. This is Yankee Stadium 2. Where the effect on the, let's see now, the left-hand hitters is a 29% boost. But it kills right-hand power hitters. Here's Willie. Off to a good start to the season, .375 batting average with 11 RBIs. Sorensen will look in. And there's a bunt. And he gets Mumphrey over to second. And that's 1 away. So Dave Winfield's a right-hand power hitter. Still put up some powerful numbers. He hit 37 home runs in 1982 in a stadium that's geared towards left-hand hitters. So Mr. May. On the mound is Larry Sorensen. Sorensen's 26 years old. So look at Sorensen again. He's a fastball pitcher, ground ball pitcher. So let's take a look at that outfield for Cleveland. Ron Hassey behind the plate. At first base, Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay. At second, Alan Bannister. At shortstop, Jerry Dubzinski. I can't say it. Is it Dzinski? Do you pronounce the B? At third, Toby Harrah. Left field, Miguel Delone. Center field, Rick Manning. And in right field, one of my favorite players of the 80s, Von Hayes, otherwise known as Von Purple Hayes. Sorensen looks in. Hassey puts the target down. Winfield is ready. Runner on second. Here's the 1-2. Great play by Duzimski. And they get the runner at first, but Mumphrey gets down to third. Brings up the power hitting Roy Smalley. As I'm listening to what everyone is saying now, I took my eyes off the ball. Let's see. Steve Tate, welcome. I'm looking to some basketball. Hey, LSU, Big Clue, Dwayne Marks, everybody's here. Where's Beatles? So it's good to see. Me and Clue in the same place. Clue and I talk often, Steve. Dibzinski. Thank you, legends. Smalley at the plate. Steve, I've got into the uniforms, as you can see. Here's the 1-0. A line drive to left center field and the first run of the ball game. Jerry Mumphrey scores. Rick Manning will throw it back into the infield, and we have a run on the board for the Yankees. Here's Ken Griffey now. After a slow start, Griffey's a .277 hitter in 1982 with 12 home runs, but he's a left-hand hitter. Smalley on first. Here's the 3-2. That's hit deep to right field. But Von Hayes is fleet of foot. He's waiting, and he caught it to retire the side. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. After one speedy inning, New York 1, Cleveland nothing. Welcome, everybody, to see you here on the back of Bernard's broadcast. I thought I'd just hop on and keep the ball going. as Steve is Darth Steve, as the great Steve Tate is welcomed by Big Clue in the customary fashion. Good to see you, Steve, and Clue and everybody. Here's Hargrove, batting .215. Here's a 2-0 base hit for Hargrove. I've got a feeling these Indians are going to surprise these Yankees today. Now, for my memory, in 1985-86, I think they had a gentleman called Corey Snyder, and they were supposed to be the coming thing. And there's Joe Charbonneau, who I've seen a documentary about. He was going to be a big thing. Not sure what happened to Joe. Is that Baker McBride on the bench? It is. Baker McBride sitting on the Cleveland bench. Here's Hassey. 1 man on for Cleveland. There's the 1-1, and it gets past Cerrone. And Hargrove will lumber down to second. Ron Hassey, I'm sure, was a Yankee at some point. Here's a 2-1. Line drive to left field, and Hargrove will come home. A double for Hassey. Ron Hassey with a double. Score is tied 1-1. Nobody out here, top of the second. Von Purple Hayes steps in, and Hayes is a man who can hit. Keep looking at the chat here. I can see there's a lot going on. Yeah, I saw Beatles earlier on. I think he's been busy. Shoots off a flare for the rescue. I know he's been busy with work. You guys are funny. Here's Von Hayes. Let's see if he can get on the board. Batting .359. I've always liked Von Hayes. Here's a 2-1. Grounder. Puff up with it. Bang, bang. Play it first, and they get Hayes. 1 away. Here's Miguel Delone at the plate. Left-hand hitter. Runner on second. And a base hit up the middle for DeLone. Hasse will come home. And it's 2-1 Cleveland, the surprising team of this year. I can't remember where Cleveland actually finished in 1982. But they've started off really well. Here's Jerry Dubinski. I can't say it again. Dubinski at the plate. Legends, I know you saw me have to look in the chat. Morgan fires the first. DeLone dives down. He's safe. Not a threat to steal. Morgan on the season is 2-0. Morgan looks in. Cerrone puts a sign down. And that's grounded in front of Cerrone, who will throw to first. Randolph is covering. 2 away. Here's Alan Bannister at the plate. He had a single in the first. Runner on second. Here's the 2-0. Line straight at Willie Randolph. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors to retire the side. After 1.5 innings, Cleveland 2, New York 1. So we've got a bit of an offensive game here at the moment. Here's Greg Puff Nettles at the plate. Used to love me a bit of Greg Nettles. Here's the 2-2 from Sorensen. Struck him out. So he takes a seat. Greg Nettles, after this season, I think went to the Padres and was part of their World Series team, if my memory serves. Indians went 78 and 84. Thank you for that. Because they've started off pretty well from what I can see. So it's only April. Here's Dave Collins now, 289. He's got a home run and 8 RBIs. Here's a 2-1. Lined up to Dubinski. Now, this gentleman here, Jerry Dubinski, he seems to be a good shortstop. And I remember Jerry Dubinski. So Sorensen is going to get a sign from Hasse. Sounds like he was a popular baseball card. Here's Bobby Mercer, one of the heroes, a DH now, stepping up. First pitch from Sorensen. Grounded to past Hara, and a base hit for the hero. Bobby Mercer on base. Brings up Rick Cerrone. 2 out here for the Yankees, bottom of the second. They trail 2-1. Cerrone is ready. Man on first. Sorensen kicks and fires. And that's lined straight to Miguel DeLone in left field. So that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors after 2 complete. The Cleveland Indians 2, the New York Yankees 1. Digging in to lead off the top of the third, Rick Manning. Here's the 1-2. Hit to right field, and Ken Griffey has a can of corn, and that is 1 out. Ken Griffey would have come over from the Reds, and he went on to continue to have a good career throughout the 80s. Here's Toby Hara. He's ready. Cerrone puts the sign down. Here's the 1-0 for Morgan. Hit to center field. Mumphrey going back, and that's 2 away. New York looking to continue this good start to the season. As Legends tells me that Dave Collins was a very popular baseball card. I remember having a Jerry Mumphrey baseball card in my time. Don't think it'd be worth much. A Ron Guidry card. I remember having a green Ron Guidry on a very famous trip I had to New York. A Joel Youngblood card. A Steve Henderson card. A Carl Yastrzemski card. So this season resonates with me quite a lot. Andy Thornton at the plate. Here's the 1-1 from Morgan. Grounded to Smalley. And that feels a good curveball for Morgan to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors after 2.5 innings. Cleveland 2, New York 1. Larry Sorensen on the mound for Cleveland, trying to get it done for them today. He's got a 2-1 lead as Jerry Mumphrey leads off the bottom of the third. Mumphrey singled and scored in the first. There's the 1-0. And that was grounded to Bannister, and Bannister fired it to first, and Hargrove had to stop it with his wide body. So an error on Bannister at second. So Mumphrey's on for the Yankees. This is the Steinbrenner era Yankees. This would have been year 5, I think, year 6 of the Yankees owners of the Steinbrenners. No, what am I saying? He had a championship club in 76, won the series in 77 and 78, got back to the World Series in 1981, the season before. And then they were the most successful franchise in the 1980s without ever winning their division. Here's Willie Randolph. Here's the 0-1. Grounded to Bannister, who fields it, fires it to first, and they get Randolph. So Mumphrey on second. Thank everyone for coming in today. Just thought I'd extend the good vibe that was set earlier on by Bernard, who I saw earlier on. We've been watching a lot of Bernard. We've been watching a lot of Steve Tate messing around with the F-ball and the basketball. But I know he's coming home to baseball this weekend. Legends has been doing this wonderful playoffs. I keep saying, I said at the beginning of the broadcast I was jealous because I like to do that kind of thing. But it's so much work put in, and I just so respect it. I think we all do. And using the technology of the game itself is just amazing. And you broadcast your own games. Just terrific stuff, man. Here's Dave Winfield on a 9-game hitting streak. 1 man out, bottom of the third. That one hit deep to left field and off the wall, and Mumphrey will score to tie the ball game up. So Yankees 2, Cleveland 2. A big double from Dave Winfield. Dave Winfield's doing very well in this season. Batting .391. Here's Roy Smalley at the plate. Smalley batting .284 with 3 home runs. Griffey on deck. Sorensen looks in. Here's the 1-0. And a lazy fly ball to right field where Von Hayes comes over to pick it up. Von Hayes would be traded to the Phillies, I think. And he was a multiplayer trade for 1 player. Can anyone remember who it was that traded from the Phillies to Cleveland? I think it was 5 players. Here's Ken Griffey 0 for 1 today. 2 men out. Deep fly ball to center field. Rick Manning casually comes across. And he has it. He makes the catch for out number 3. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error after 3 complete. Cleveland 2, New York 2. As Legend says... Yeah, the World Series is on, Clue. I mean, to be honest, Legends, I have to catch up. So I wasn't quite sure if the Giants actually got through. They were looking superb. Here's Hargrove now, 1 for 1 to lead off the 4th inning. Morgan looks in. Here's the 1-2. Grounded up the middle to Smalley. He moves to his left and he fielded it and threw it across to first. 1 away. Roy Smalley, not one of the best shortstop in there. Around this time, I think they had Bobby Meacham. Looking at the Yankee bench. Oscar Gamble's on the bench. John Mabry on the bench. Bucky freaking Dent is there. Sweet Lou Pinella's on the bench. Rodney Scott's on the bench. And the catcher, Butch Weiniger, is on the bench. It's a pretty experienced bench for New York. Hasse is ready. It's 1-1 to count. Drove in a double last time up. Line drive. Nice diving play by Smalley to spare that one. 2 away. Nice play by Roy Smalley at short. That brings in Von Purple Hayes, the left-hand hitter. Hayes is outperforming his normal season. He's batting .354. Got a feeling he's going to keep that up. He's 0 for 1 today. Hayes digs in. Morgan sets. Here's the 0-2. Fly ball to right field. And Griffey is there to make the catch to retire the side. So nothing across at the top of the fourth. So we go to the Yankees half of the inning. Cleveland 2, New York 2. Bottom of the fourth, leading off is the veteran Craig Nettles. There's the 0-2 to left field, and DeLone has it for one away. So Puff will sit down. At the plate now, Dave Collins, a very popular baseball card, according to Legend Sports Universe in the 80s. A card that nobody wanted to have. A nice bit of trivia there from him. Collins is ready. Here's the 1-1. Grounder to Dubinsky, and that's 1 or 2 away. Good defense here by Jerry Dubzinski. Here's Bobby Mercer, the hero of New York. By this time, I think he had returned. He's batting .294. Sorensen has a sign. Here's the 1-0. Grounded to Bannister. He throws to first for the out. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 4 complete, Cleveland 2, New York 2. Leading off the top of the 5th, Miguel DeLone. Drove in a single first time up. Here's Morgan with the 1-2. Great diving play by Nettles. Over to Collins, and they get their man. 1 away. So see some nice flashes of the glove. In the field by the shortstop for Cleveland. We've seen Smalley do one, and now we've seen Nettles flash his glove. These two teams, top of the American League East, very early on though in the season. Julio Franco Legends was definitely one of them. And that ended up being a good trade. Julio Franco, should he be in the Hall of Fame? Or is he? Isn't he old when he finished? Here's Jared Dzimski at the plate. Morgan looks in. Here's the 1-2. Fly ball to center field, and Mumphrey closes his glove on that one. 2 away, so some good pitching going on here. Mike Morgan tangled up with Larry Sorensen in their pitcher's duel. Here's Alan Bannister batting a paltry .235. But he's 1 for 2 today. He had a single early on. Manning is on deck. Here's the 3-2 for Morgan. And a little flare to center field for a base hit. So that was a change-up hit by Morgan. And all of a sudden, Bannister sees the opportunity to get 2. Now, my computer just went frozen there for a second. I think it's okay. Here's Rick Manning. Here's 0 for 2. I like Rick Manning. He's batting .318. In 1982, Rick Manning batted .270. Not much power, but a decent hitter. Hitting from the left-hand side, so it should favor him. Morgan looks in, gets his sign, man on second. It's hit to shallow center field, and Jerry Mumphrey lopes in to have that one to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 4.5 innings here, Cleveland 2, New York 2. They're locked into a tight ball game. Bottom of the 5th, Rick Cerrone comes in. So I'm just curious as to how the Yankees, being a left-handed power team, should be, are not actually crafted that way. I think they were heading that way, but Winfield's a righty, and Smalley's a switch hitter. But for Dave Winfield to hit 37 home runs in 1982 at Yankee Stadium, that's some going. Sorensen looks in. Shallow fly ball to center field. And Rick Manning closes his glove on that one. I like Rick Manning. I like the look of him. Coming up next is Jerry Mumphrey, 1 for 2. Here's a 3-1 to Mumphrey. Down the line, a one-hopper to Hargrove, and he will take it to first himself. So Mike the Human Rain Delay, manager of the Cleveland Indians in those great 1990s ball clubs, unless I'm wrong. I am sure I'm right. Tight ball game. 2 out, bottom of the 5th. Willie Randolph steps in. Willie, one of my favorite players. Again, one of my early recognizable names. Here's Sorensen. And a bunt from Randolph. Don't know why, and he is out. So Bannister was covering. And that's the end of that one. No runs, no hits, no errors after 5 complete. Cleveland 2, New York 2. Leading off the top of the 6th in this fast-paced game. Toby Harrah batting 0 for 2. Here's the 2-1 for Mike Morgan. Curveball hit deep to right field, but Griffey is at the warning track. 1 away, so a nice ride there by Harrah to right field. But Ken Griffey has the athleticism to get there, and that's 1 away. Mike Morgan looking good, trying to go for his 3rd win on the season. Mike Morgan is 22 years old here right now. I'm sure he played into the 90s. He's a fly ball pitcher with a good fastball, an 89 fastball, so that's pretty good. Man who can relieve. In 1982, he went 7-11 with a 4.37 ERA. Seems to be doing okay right now. Mike Morgan, 22. Very young for a Yankee pitcher. Here's Thornton, 0 for 2. He steps in. And a fly ball down to right field, and Griffey has that one again. So not many strikeouts in this ball game. No strikeouts for Morgan yet. He's up to 90 pitches. So, Big Clue says, as I look to the chat for a minute as Cleveland comes to bat for their final out. Trio Franco trade was a 5-for-1 by the Phillies to acquire Von Preble Hayes. Manny Trio was another one of those 5, along with Franco. Don't remember the rest. 82-83 off-season, yes. Who can guess the other 3? I think it was the first of its kind. 2 out. Bottom of the 5th. Top of the 6th, sorry. Mike Hargrove at the plate. So just taking some time here as Mike gets himself ready. And this is why, Beatles, if you do listen to this, why those modern rules speed up the game. Because people like Mike Hargrove would not survive. Oh, dear. So here's Hargrove. He's ready. Here's the 0-2. Here's the windup. And a line drive to center field. And Hargrove in with his 3rd double of the season. So runner in scoring position for Ron Hassey. Hassey 1 for 2, doubled in the 2nd. Ron Hassey's the catcher for Cleveland. The young Morgan looks in. Cerrone puts a sign down. Here's the 1-0. Deep fly ball to right field. It could go. No, it doesn't. It dies. And Griffey takes the catch again. No runs, 1 hit, no errors after 5.5 innings. Cleveland 2, New York 2. I'm so glad I'm broadcasting because I have got work tomorrow and I work from home. But I can't be asked. That's our expression over here. I don't care. I will wake up on time at 8 o'clock, hopefully, God willing. And I'll have a glass of water, go for a walk. Or pretend to go for a walk, or just walk in my living room. And then I will do what I need to do and then settle down and do some work. But I'll actually feel better because of tonight. Speak to some old friends, speak to current people in the community, watching Bernard's stream. I'll get round to catching up with legend stuff. Getting ready for the draft of the weekend where I show the boys how to draft like an expert. I always like the drafts. And it's actually rejuvenated me today. It's funny how it works, isn't it? I'll be dog-tired tomorrow, but you know what? I've got copious amounts of coffee. Bottom of the 6th inning, Dave Winfield, Mr. May, steps in. He's 1 for 2. Having a great start. He's having 9 home runs already in the month of April. So, maybe we should rechristen him month April. Dave, Mr. April. Sorensen toes the rubber. Here's the 1-1. Deep fly ball. This could go. But it doesn't. As Miguel DeLone takes it in left field. 1 away. Brings up another power hitter, and I predict a home run here. There's 27% chance of a hit, a 4.6% chance of a home run, but I sense home run. Don't know why. Sorensen looks in, 1 away. I was wrong. But Smalley does get a hit. It's close. As the organ player starts to tickle the ivories. Are there ivories on an organ? Anyway, here's Ken Griffey, 0 for 2. Runner on for the Yankees. Sorensen's done a good job to date. Runner on first. Here's the 1-0 from Sorensen. And another single for the Yankees as Griffey gets on. So Smalley at second, Griffey at first, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th. It's primed for Greg Puff Nettles. 5 home runs already on the season. In 1982, Nettles hit 18 home runs. He's a lefty hitter. I've already called a home run, it hasn't come true. Now it might, as Sorensen looks in, Hasse puts the signs down. He's ready, Sorensen shakes it off. He's back up. Here we go. Here's the 0-2. Struck him out. After all of that build-up, Sorensen comes back with a strikeout. 2 away. As Dave Collins steps in, another lefty hitter. Not much power, Dave. He's ready. Here's a 2-2. Round to Bannister, who fields it and goes to his left and gets it over to second. So no runs, 2 hits, no errors. Cleveland 2, New York 2. It's all locked up. It's going to be great this weekend, absolutely. So, Heresy, yes, of course. So he says, no, he's not in the Hall of Fame. That's Julio Franco. He doesn't belong. If you want an underappreciated 82nd baseman, try Tony Phillips, yeah. Or Bobby Grich, 70s, 80s. Or Willie Randolph. I definitely think Randolph should be in. So we go to the top of the 7th now, locked 2-2. I hope this one goes to extra innings to show off the Ghost Runner. I love it. Here's Von Hayes, 0 for 2. He's batting .348 on the season. And Rick Goose Gossage on the mound strikes him out. So Action PC does do that. When they do their switch, it's pretty quick. So on the mound is Goose Gossage, coming in very early to get his strikeout. In 1982, Goose Gossage had 30 saves with a 2.23 ERA, went 4-5 with a .97 whip. So the manager making a move here. I can't remember who was the manager in 1982. They got fired so often, I can't recall. Here's Miguel DeLeon, 1 out, top of the 7th. Gossage is in early. Here's a 2-2. Hit down to first, and Collins gobbles that up and takes it to the bag. 2 away. Here's Jerry Dubzinski. That's it. He's 0 for 1. Goose Gossage on the mound. On the season, Gossage is 4-1 with 3 saves. And in 17 innings pitched, he's got 18 strikeouts. This would be, I think, Goose Gossage's last season with the Yankees. Gossage looks in as Dubzinski waits. Full count. And a double stretched into a triple by Dubzinski, who hit that one to right center field. So Gossage, who's normally the fire-breathing reliever, has just given up a triple. So Dubzinski, who's making me say his name over and over again, is on third. as Cleveland threatened to take the lead. Here's Alan Bannister now batting 246. Thank you everyone for coming in today. It's been lovely to see everybody. We've got quite a few in, hoping to see the Ghost Runner on second. So, as Dwayne says, damn MV, saying some nasty words like the Ghost Runner. He is going to get on YouTube trouble for saying things like that. Yeah, I've been getting abused for the last couple of weeks. It's great. I just plead ignorance. Here's Floyd Bannister now, 2 for 3. Alan Bannister, 2 for 3. Cleveland's threatened to break this open. Bannister lined out to second. In the second, doubled in the fifth. Here's the one-way from Gossage. Grounded to Smalley. And Smalley fields it over the first to retire the side. One, two, 3 strikes here out at the old ball game. Here we go, bottom of the 7th inning, scores tied 2-2. Yankees trying to break open these stubborn Cleveland Indians. Bobby Mercer at the plate, the hero of New York, 1 for 2. Bobby came up in the late 60s. I can't remember who was traded for. I saw a documentary about him. I wasn't around to see that he became a great broadcaster. It's a very sad story with him. But I know he was well loved. Sorensen with the first pitch. And that one's going to right field. And that one is gone. A home run for the hero, Bobby Mercer. Breaks it open 3-2. There's that left-hand power I was talking about. Yankees go ahead 3-2. And the fans are going crazy. Let's have a look at that one again. Pitch from Sorensen was a fastball over the plate, and Bobby Mercer slapped it into right field. Bobby Mercer. Crowd want to see it one more time. Bobby Mercer. Whoa, look at that one. That went out of here. Bobby Mercer. Wow, nice one, Bobby. So, the score is 3-2 Yankees. And I'm not a big Yankees fan, but it was the first team I followed until I fell in love with the New York Mets. That's the proper team of New York. Here's Rick Cerrone, batting 264, has had 2 home runs. He's 0 for 2 today. Sorensen bears down. Hasse puts the sign down. Here's the 0-1. This one is going deep to left field, but a great play by Miguel Delone, who just avoids hitting the wall. So, 1 out. So we've got the Yankee fans in the ballpark. And let's have a look. So, Clue says, MV, at least you're not dropping the F-bomb in the Baseball Geek Squad's Discord. That is correct. Number 2 in your program, but number 1 in your heart, Bobby. Yeah, Bobby Mercer, I do like him. Or I loved him for what he was. And still is. He's a legend. Here's Jerry Mumphrey. Definitely the first card I ever had. This is 1 for 3. Batting 308. Sorensen hanging in there. Here's the payoff pitch. And Mumphrey slices that one foul. The crowd's still excited from that Bobby Mercer home run. Yankees lead 3-2. Bottom of the 7th. Sorensen's up to 100 pitches. And now the bullpen for Cleveland is up and throwing. Let's see what they have in the bullpen. He's got a lot of choice. He's got Rick Waits, a 30-year-old. Somebody called Tom Brennan, a 29-year-old. The Gray Flamingo. What a name. I think the other day I came across a guy that was pitching called Hot Sauce. Hot Sauce. I can't remember the team, but that was cool to see. Dennis Llewellyn can be chosen as well. I don't think they'll choose this guy. Rick Sutcliffe, 26. Ed Whitson, the guy that will become a Padre. You can almost see the trades, actually. And somebody called Dan Spillner. And another one called Jerry Reed. You can choose any of them to get up in the bullpen. But the guy's name that I like is Tom Brennan, the Gray Flamingo. What a name that is. It's up there with Hot Sauce, which I saw pitched the other night. Anyone remember the name of the pitcher whose nickname was Hot Sauce? Here we are, hoping for a tie ball game so that we can see the ghost runner. And that one is driven straight to Bannister, 2 away for the Yankees. Here's Willie Randolph. Sorensen still hanging in there, 101 pitches. This is a 1982 replay, DH Interleague and Ghost Runner. Sorensen looks in as he puts the sign down. Willie is ready. Here's the 0-1. Grounded to Hara. And not quick enough, so Hara, the ball got to Hara quite slowly. And Willie Randolph is on first. Brings up the man having the hottest April. He's got 9 home runs in April. Dave Winfield. Winfield is 1 for 3 today. Sorensen still on the mound. Hassie is ready. Here's the 1-0. Grounded to Zabinski, who gets the lead runner. And that's all they needed. 3 away, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. 7 innings in the books. The Yankees 3, Cleveland 2. Goose Gossage on the mound for the Yankees. In early, as Rick Manning now leads off the 8th for Cleveland. He's 0 for 3 today. Gossage looks in, although he's snorting away. Smashed! Back up to Gossage. And he throws over to first to get the runner. Nice nifty play from Goose Gossage, who's only got a 2 fielding. So good play from Goose. As Toby Hara comes in, he's 0 for 3. Gossage. Ready. He's in 1-0. He kicks and fires. High fly ball to left field. And Dave Winfield collects it. That's 2 away. Andre Thornton comes in, or Andy Thornton comes in. He's 0 for 3. Gossage trying to hold this together there for a closer. On the bench and up in the bullpen can be any one of these 6 players. Probably going to be Lee May coming in. Or Dave Rags Rigetti. Here's Thornton. Grounded. Routine ground to Smalley. He's up with it, and that's all they need. No runs, no hits, no errors. A very quick half inning. After 7.5 innings, New York 3, Cleveland 2. Brings up Roy Smalley. He's 2 for 3 for the Yankees. Bottom of the 8th. Sorensen's still out there. Score 3-2 Yankees. And Sorensen walks his man. First walk of the ball game for Larry Sorensen. He's pitched well today. And that brings up Ken Griffey. 1 man on. Nobody out. Bottom of the 8th. That one is clobbered to center field. But Rick Manning has it. That's first one out. Smalley will return to first. He's not a threat to steal. Here's Craig Nettles now. They may pinch hit for Nettles. No, they don't. Nettles is ready. Runner on first. Here's a 3-2 and a strikeout for Sorensen. That's his 3rd strikeout for Larry Sorensen. He's pitched really well today. He's given up 8 hits, but he's spread them out through his pitching. 2 out now for the Yankees, bottom of the 8th. Here's Dave Collins, who's 0 for 3. And Hassie will come out to talk to Sorensen. He looks okay. Here we go again. Runner on first. Here's the 3-1. At the shoulders, and a walk. So just soon after, now they want to take Sorensen out, and we're going to see a man who, I don't know what ending this man had in his life, but I've got a feeling it wasn't very good. Here's Ed Whitson jogging in from the bullpen to pitch for Cleveland. So Ed Whitson on the mound. I do remember him at the Padres, and I think he came across to the Yankees. Anyone want to update me on Ed Whitson? A 2-inning save, it could be. Yeah, well, yes, you're right about Bobby Mercer. I don't know too much. I mean, I do remember reading about him when I was younger. And I watched a documentary fairly recently, which was quite sad. Of, how it all ended. But here's Ed Whitson, a man who I think succumbed, I could be wrong, to the drugs in that era. But here he is, alive and well, on the mound. 2 out here, bottom of the 8th. Bobby Mercer at the plate. Here's Bobby, hit a solo home run in the 7th. Here's a 2-1. And that's ripped straight at Toby Harrah. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Yankees. We've played 8 and we go to the top of the 9th. Gossage out there for the save. Here's Mike Hargrove, who's 2 for 3. Hargrove in 1982 was a decent hitter. Batted .271. Gossage looks in. Hassie on deck. Here's the 2-1. Slow ground ball to Nettles. And Hargrove, surprisingly, beats the throw. He's safe, so Mike Hargrove on again. Here's Ron Hassie, 1 for 3. The go-ahead run at the plate, Hassie. Hargrove represents the tying run. I'm hoping for a tie ball game to go to extra innings. Here's Gossage, looks in, gets a sign from Cerrone. Outfield normal, infield normal. No doubles defense. Here's the 1-2. Fly to right. And Ken Griffey has it. So Hargrove will drop back to first. 1 away. Here's Von Hayes. He's due 0 for 3. I'm expecting Von Hayes to hit one out here. Gossage looks in. Hayes is ready. Von Purple Hayes. Now Cerrone will go out to talk to Gossage. Hayes steps in. Man on first. No doubles defense. Here's the 2-1. It's up the middle to Gossage. And they get the lead runner. So again, Goose Gossage with his own gardening. Fields it, throws it to second. Von Hayes, a threat to steal his own first. Still the go-ahead run at the plate, but only 1 out left. Miguel Delone, 1 for 3. Gossage going for the save here. Looks in. Looks intimidating on the mound. He can bring it. This is 30-year-old Goose Gossage with a 94 fastball. He's ready. Cerrone puts a sign down. Throw over to first. And Hayes gets under the tag from Collins. Crowd on their feet again as Gossage looks to close this one out. And a little switch hitting going on now, pinch hitting, as the veteran Bake McBride comes in. So Gossage versus McBride, mano a mano. Here we go, 2 out, but top of the 9th. Runner on first. Here's the 1-2. And a high chopper to Dave Collins. And that's your ball game. Collins takes the first to get McBride. So, interesting ball game as the New York Yankees go to 16-5. Cleveland dropped to 13-8. Let's have a look at the scorecard. Box score. So, Sorensen gets a loss. Sorensen pitched pretty well, I thought. He's 1-4. Gossage gets the win, not the save. Now, why is that? Why does he not get the save? Someone please explain. Anyway, he's 5-1. Left on base, the Cleveland only left 10 on base. The Yankees left 15 on base. Bobby Mercer had the home run there, two that broke it open. He went 2 for 4. Mike the Human Rain Delay went 3 for 4. Sorensen, well, I think pitched pretty well. Gave up 8 hits in 7.2 innings with 2 earned runs. And Mike Morgan, who pitched fairly well himself, pitched only 6 innings. Oh, it was tied. That's why. And they went ahead when Gossett in the 7th, right? That makes sense. I can see it. I understand the rules a little bit more. That makes sense. So Goose Gossett comes into the 7th, gets the win. That is that ball game. Next time I do a ball game, it will be the Atlanta Braves. So Dwayne, look out for your Braves. So just looking at the day that's left, scheduled, and here we go. Looking for what's not got a box score. There's your Atlanta game. I'll do that probably tomorrow, and the Montreal game, and just auto-play this one. So Pittsburgh, Beatles team at St. Louis. Pittsburgh come out 3-1. They beat the league-leading St. Louis Cardinals 3-1. John Candelaria with the win, and the surprising Andy Rincon 3-1 drops to 3-1. Tony Pena went 3 for 3. And a big game here, which I'm not going to play. Ruthven versus Royce. Phillies and Dodgers, and the Phillies lose 4-0. The win goes to Royce. Ruthven takes the loss. Steve Sachs 1 for 3 with a home run. So the only game I'm going to play tomorrow, or 2 games I'm going to play tomorrow, when I get the time, depending on when LSU's broadcasting and anyone else really. Bernard, I think, is also doing a replay tomorrow. Bob Nepper, Rick Mailer. We want to see Rick Mailer on the mound. And we want to see Sanderson and Bruce Brenny. Bruce Brenny, if I recall, is a strikeout pitcher. So, I said it'd be quick. I think it was fair, about 45, 55 minutes. Thank you for all that came in today. Thank you, Dwayne. Really appreciate everybody coming in today. With about 9 or 10 at one point. As Big Clue says, Whitson had a fight with Billy Martin in the dugout. I've got to see that one. Bernard Strum says, Yankees won my game 3-2. Go Indians. And Bernard, you haven't got one of these things. I need to add you. It's something I learned from Beatles. So there you are. You're now blue. Dwayne Martz, you are correct. Who played for the Yankees? Ed played for the Yankees. Yeah, and you know what? A lot of this is coming from my 15-year-old memory when I was 15, 16. You know, and obviously I've seen clips over the years. But I do love those Yankees, but not as much as my Mets. So I can show you just a little bit of what's going on. I hope you like the uniforms. I did put some uniforms on them. I saw someone else do that the other day. I thought, I'll have some of that. The All-Stars at the moment, Joaquin Andujar. Someone called him the dog Andujar. I don't know why. I think it's Chris Berman. He is currently having a sensational season. Though he just took his first loss. Joe Morgan is 38 years old. And Joe is having a great season, but it's only April. The usual suspects are there that you'd expect to see there, actually. Carl Yastrzemski is a DH, and if I just go to National, which does have a DH, for all you heretics, guess who the National League DH man is? It's Gene Tennis. Now, you see, Gene wouldn't have got a chance to play in 1982 as much as he gets a chance to play for St. Louis. It gives all those old boys a chance. That's all they need, just a chance. But here are the All-Stars as it stands for the National League. It's very early, like I say. Whitey Herzog is the manager at the moment. And in the American League, let's have a look. Clyde King. Oh, so Clyde King, I thought it was a GM. Clyde King is the manager for New York at the moment, who I must say are doing pretty well, despite having the worst face baseman because Mattany hadn't come up. They've got Steve Balboni, a very old John Mabry. I say very old, he's 33. Isn't that funny? I'm in my 50s and I think 33 is old. What am I thinking? John Mabry. Butch Hobson was a former Boston Red Sox. But they weren't much productive, you see, in that particular year. I do like looking through all this old stuff. trying to see who I can see coming up. Yeah, so that's that really. So thank you so much for the amount of people that came in today. Like I said, the pace was set earlier on, so I'm just going to wrap this up. Sorry, Dwayne, I have to keep teasing everybody. So thank you to everybody that came in today. Thank you very much, as usual, to Dwayne Martz. You're definitely Atlanta's going to be played at some point. I won't broadcast without doing an Atlanta Brave one. I would also say thank you to Big Clue, my man, Big Clue, always here. Really appreciate it. Bernard, thank you so much for coming in. I really loved your stream earlier on today. My screen has gone very dark for a second. Hold on, don't forget anyone. Put a flare signal out for Beatles. I saw him online earlier on, so I know he's busy. He did say he was off. So thank you to Big Clue, Dwayne Martz. Let's thank you to Ken, who was in earlier, I know that. LSU, Legend Sports Universe. Thank you to Steve Tate. Steve, thank you for coming in. Looking forward to catching up on the weekend. Let's have a look who else there was. Ken, we said earlier. Bernard Trim, we said earlier. And there was a few others. It got to 10 at some point. But thank you so much for the support. It really lifted me today to see Bernard online for all sorts of different reasons, and to see familiar faces on the chat. It's just one of those days I woke up and I just thought, I can't do this today. This is at work, that is. But I've got through it, ended up with a smile, then crashed, and then came through again. So just a little metaphor for life, really. Ups and downs, and we will have seasons that we come in and go out of. But to try and bounce back as best we can and keep things in best perspective. And I thought, you know what? Despite the fact I have to be up in about 6 hours or less, I will literally go to bed with a smile on my face. Because I think the community does do that, whether we want to admit it or not. You have the banter, you have the laughs, you have the trivia, you have the history, you have the escapism. It does help in these times when so much bad news on the news, which I don't tend to watch anyway. It's just good to escape into another time zone. Like today, Bernard was in the 1950s. Sometimes he does Deadball. Sometimes Beatles is in his Deadball world, or Ken's going about 19th century, or I'm doing a bit of 80s, or Legends is doing his wonderful all-time on the what he does on the all-time league on the MLB The Show. Dwayne, I haven't seen you much, but I've got some cricket and I've got some soccer. So I know you do like your soccer, and I do have a bit of that using cards and dice, but I've kind of put it into a spreadsheet. I've updated. Got a bit of cricket as well. But it's on spreadsheet, not on the card. I don't want to be broadcasting my kitchen table. But but thanks to everybody. I'm troubling on here. I will see you all soon, and definitely see you on the weekend, life sparing. So have a wonderful evening, whatever's left of it, and spend time with your wives and your family, if you want to, if you can. And I'm in the doghouse as usual. I'm always in the doghouse with all family and any woman in my life, whether it be friend. They're either friend or foe, mostly foe. But I love them all anyway. So, from MV in a very late Cardiff, it is good night from him.